meme coins and AI coins have been the two best performing sectors in the crypto space this bull run. Recently, few meme coins have been performing incredibly well. Here we have Popcat up at $1.23 on a massive surge the past 24 hours, moving very high, hitting new all-time highs. Now, we're not going to talk about meme coins because I think they're incredibly risky. I may do a video on them in the future, but I want to look at other coins, aka the AI coins, which is the other sector that I said have been performing very well, and look at two particular charts which are showing very similar patterns and trends in Echelon Prime and Oasis protocol. Now, firstly, we'll have a look at the AI sector, which, as we can see, has not been performing well the past 7 days, but majority of the market is in this sort of category. So most coins are down except for select few meme coins. We have Tau performing very well the past week, up 6%, but that up 6% is pretty good because the rest of the market's been down quite a bit. But what I want to do is I want to look at firstly Prime, because I feel like right now the charts are pretty important, because if you're looking at this chart, you can see Prime has hit two pretty important support levels right now, which means if it breaks through, that's going to be pretty bearish for at least the short term. The first one is this clear previous resistance line, which we hit many times, right? There's about 5 touches along here, and we finally got through, came down, and we're just sitting right on it right now. Like, we're at the level, and the past sort of 24 hours, 2 days, we've just been like hovering on the line. So we haven't broken through, which is good, but we haven't seen the bounce. And a bit of that would obviously have to do with what Bitcoin's doing, sitting at 62K. It hasn't really done much the past few days, moved up to like 63, 64K and came back down. So it's been pretty stagnant. We would like to see a nice Bitcoin move, but I also want to look at the Bitcoin chart in a bit and talk about how Bitcoin isn't actually at any important resistance or support line. I'll get into that a bit later. I want to stay on Prime for the moment. The other important support line we're seeing is clearly this line across here. Again, you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, many touches to try to break through. We finally just shot straight through, which is awesome. And then shot to the next line of resistance as well. So that was obviously super bullish, right? To smash through 2 lines of resistance is incredibly strong, and then to come down is, as you would expect, you want that confirmation. So you usually have the breakout, come back down, confirm the breakout, and then head higher. So the current candle is quite literally on the sort of corner right here, or whatever you want to call it, where they've converged. We are right here, which means if we break through, that's not ideal. Hopefully we can get a nice bounce of support for Prime. That would obviously be really, really strong. Again, Bitcoin's going to play a pretty big influence on that. The second coin I want to look at is Oasis protocol. I'm going to shift to the regular to linear chart here. So a pretty similar pattern. Prime was a descending channel. This is a falling wedge, but quite the same, and a pretty clean chart as well. There's clearly 3 points of rejection right here, one pretty recently, and then many points of support all along here. So it's a pretty clean chart all the way through. And then recently we had that attempt to break through, and we got rejected, and we're now sitting just below. So another pretty important point here, because we just got rejected by this line. We've come back down. So where do we go from here? Are we going to try and attempt it again? Are we going to come back down all the way back down here to like 3 or 4 cents, which hopefully does not happen. Hopefully we can finally break through and go up. This is another AI coin in the AI sector, Oasis protocol. And the reason why I do like it is I always say that I look for coins that performed well early in this bull market, and then they're the coins that I look at to perform well later. So Rose definitely has that going. So they performed up 360%, which is a very good move. Not as good as a lot of other coins, understandable. I do understand that, but still up 360% is a pretty decent move. Had its few corrections as well along the way. But it was a relatively sharp increase. So it's in a pretty important spot right now, I think. I think it's not far off this resistance. It's a slight increase. So I think breaking out of that's pretty important. And Prime as well is obviously very important. This is the chart that I'm really watching and hope that we can smash through the resistance and shoot higher. I mean, Prime just performed so well early in the market. I think it's, in my opinion, it's a winner for the second part of this cycle. And now, yeah, it's a pretty important time for this coin. But do want to look at Bitcoin, because this is obviously pretty important. This is where I'm a little bit, I guess, worried or a bit hesitant to make any calls. Is that Bitcoin is sort of in a bit of a random spot right now. It's not at a resistance line. It's not at a support line, and it's sort of sitting in this region where it could easily trend down just a little bit. And if you look where I'm lining it up, it's about 57k if it goes somewhere down here. And I think if Bitcoin's to go to like 57k, you go sub 60, just psychologically, that's a pretty big barrier to go down into. No one really wants to see a sub 60k Bitcoin, especially because we've been moving sideways / downwards for so long. And I think if it does do that, then that puts a lot of pressure on Prime, and we'll likely see this bleed a bit, and then might just fall through this resistance line, which really isn't what you want to see. So there's a bit of waiting with Bitcoin, and you can also move these lines a bit if you really want to. You can sort of pull this here. I don't like to move my lines too much, but you can pull them a little bit. I mean, Bitcoin could still hit this line once again, which is only at about 51k, which really, I mean, we've hit this line many times along the way. And this is 56k, this is 54, 55k, and then about 53.7k. So there's no real reason why we can't see one more hit, two more hits, two more touches. I'm still bullish in Q4. I think this case is probably more unlikely. I think a lot of people are pretty bullish for Q4, even though we had a shocking start to October when everyone was saying for Uptober, but that's probably just like karma for everyone saying that we're going to shoot up to the moon, that it just made sense. We've seen this correction. Also, we had a really good September, which historically is a really bad month. So I think the fact that we had a good September when we should be bad, it sort of made sense that we had a bad October when it should be good. And that might indicate that November and December play out like they typically do, and no one's overly bullish or overly bearish. It's sort of just like, okay, reasonable. And then you can also look at the fact that the election's in November, which it's now looking like potentially Trump will win. Based on Polymarket here, we see Trump did take a bit of a lead today. I might make a video in the future on what I think about this. I think majority of people in crypto are probably hoping that Trump wins, based on what he said at the Bitcoin conference and what RFK said at the conference. Either way, I'm sure a lot of people are just interested in the election simply because it'll probably have implications for crypto. It seems like Harris is also quite pro crypto, so it doesn't seem like there's really too much of a negative, but it'll likely have some implications and something to be aware of. But I think the main premise for this video was, I think right now you have some meme coins surging really high, and people are like, should I get in? You have altcoins that are sort of bleeding right now, sort of just heading downwards. I mean, these like Prime had a bit of a move here and just coming down a little bit. I think majority of coins are in that sort of stage. If we look at the AI sector, majority of coins are down. You would have had to have picked some good projects like Tau or Turbo. I don't even know what that coin is. Majority of the coins are down from AI, and even meme coins, a lot of the coins are down except for those few winners. So it's a bit of a, I guess, concerning time, or just a lot of questions being raised of where things are heading. I think it's always important to come back to the charts and just see what's going on. And seeing Bitcoin in this range really is a bit, I'm not gonna say scary, but you've really got to be a bit careful at the moment, because look, a move up could obviously occur and no one would be surprised, but just as likely more sideways movement, maybe a little bit down. And if Bitcoin heads down to 60k, just touches 60k, for where Prime is right now, it would be difficult to see a move up, considering if Bitcoin were to go down. So you just have to be careful with that. And it's not the worst thing if Prime does break through this support line. That does happen every now and then. And yeah, as for Rose, I mean, we want to finally break above this line, and then we would be looking for the same sort of situation to play out as well, where we break up, maybe go to 8.5, maybe 9 cents, somewhere around there, and then come back down, confirm it, and then just like hopefully see a nice move up. But these are two coins that just performed very well early in the market, and I'm still very bullish on Prime, especially. I think Prime has a lot of potential. An AI gaming coin is just, there's a lot of potential in this coin. There's a lot of hype for it, which is really good. And I think a lot of people are hoping for some good returns. And both coins also, these two coins are down basically the same percentage. So they both had a really good rally. And then you look at Prime currently is about 67% down. And when you look at Rose is down 63%. It went down 74% total. I wonder what Prime went down. Prime went down about 83%. So you can see very similar charts, right? Like descending channels, or I mean, there's no descending channel here. It's more of just a big resistance line, and then Rose at the falling wedge. Very similar charts. Prime's broken out. Rose is on the verge of breaking out. Similar rises and similar corrections and downward movements for, I think it's like 200 days. Pretty much all altcoins have been in this move, like 200 days of just downwards movements, obviously because of mostly Bitcoin, which is also in its descending channel. And I think realistically, everyone's just waiting for Bitcoin to finally shoot through this and head higher. And then, I mean, the sky's the limit at that point. Once you break through here, it's pretty much going to be all-time high levels, and then we move higher and money might rotate into altcoins. People might enter the market, hearing that Bitcoin's hit all-time highs. And yeah, with Q4 typically being pretty bullish and the election, it's a pretty exciting time for sure. Let me know what you guys think of this analysis, if you agree with it or not, if you're bullish on these two coins in particular, or what coins you are bullish on. And as always, appreciate it, guys. Enjoy. Thank you.